Alright, I guess I'm going to start making videos again. I ain't got nothing better else to do on a Sunday night. So let's talk about how to acquire wealth. Alright, let's see here. So, getting wealthy is easy. But you must learn how to acquire wealth. And everybody say hard work. Well, that's a lie. If hard work is not how you get wealthy, rich, or nothing like that. Because wealth and riches is not a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. So you have to ask guidance from the Most High on how to get rich. Everybody say, nah, it's a physical thing. You just work hard, get rich. Okay, so let's do the math. Let's see if the math is mathing. If working hard gets you rich, why does the people who makes the most money in the world do the least amount of work? That's how I know it's spiritual. Because your boss do not do as much work as you do. But he gets way more money, paid way more money than you do for all y'all who's in the slave class. And I know, but that's why I'm here to bring y'all up out of that. All right. The first thing that you need to learn, money is a given. But you need to understand this, that money is a given. But it's all about how much risk do you want to, I wouldn't say risk. I'm so used to day trading. That's why I say risk. I would say, how much of a load do you want to take on? How much do you want to be responsible for other people? See, the way that this country, the United States, the way that this country is made is, and I think that's why we're the most blessed, is because they follow the rules, not to the T, but like in some kind of a sense, how God, the Most High, likes to bless us. See, everybody wants the blessing from above, but they don't want to give the blessings out. But you see, the most blessed people are the people who produce things or add to society. Those are like Walmart. If you couldn't get your goods like that and you had to go kill your food every day and you had to do all these things, no, it's provided convenient for you at a discount price, so everybody, just not the rich and the famous, or everybody can do it. So that's how they're more prosperous. So, but understand, when you, to whom much is given, much is required. Understand, there were some sleepless nights building that business. And understand that if you want to be in that kind of spot, you're going to have to go through those stages like they did and get it figured out. But on the other side, though, in your latter days, you're going to be straight. You're going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to the nuts and bolts. People don't understand that their wealth, their regular 9 to 5, I don't care if you're making $10 an hour, I don't care if you're making 12, 15, 20, whatever you're making an hour, 40, 30. If you take $100 and go and get your credit right, I personally go on Credit Karma and start ordering credit cards. This is the fastest way, because that's why everybody say, I gotta work. I know people who didn't got rich off of free money. And the people who work are going to be the least people who figure it out because they think they already got it figured out, which at the end of the day, they're going to be on the low end of the totem pole because that's the slave class. You're trading time for money. Whereas a broke person, they might ain't got a lot of money, but they got the key thing. They got a lot of time and they're not tired every day so they can think. So in the later stages, it only gets better. Whereas when you have a job, it's just the same old every day, and the things only make it a little better. Let me explain. So this person goes down and they get some, one person has a job. He's making whatever he's making a month, but he has to pay all these bills because he has income. He has to pay food, water, shelter, clothing, all this stuff. Another person goes down and goes and get EBT. And they get free housing. And the government gives them a little bit of money. On the side. The person with the job gonna take $100, go get a credit card. And that credit card is not gonna be a big deal because they already making money and they already consumed it with time. You understand? Now on the other hand, the person who's getting this county money or this state money or who has a side hustle or whatever they're doing to get this money, they go put that $100 on a card and that $100 goes towards their credit, and now their credit score goes up. Both people are, one person is making money and they can go faster, but this the trick, they ain't got the time. And the person who goes slower has all the time. So in the end, I could teach people, I've been trying to tell folks, I could get people rich within a year, no matter what kind of money you have. I don't care if you're making $100 a month. I can get you rich. All you need is a little bit of money. I know people who used to braid hair for a living. It was their only income in EBT. And now they living in a $400,000-$500,000 house. 3-4 cars outside. 8 or 9 investment properties. So that's why I tell people I'd rather train people. And then I have people who went fast in the beginning, got as many credit cards as they want, and never made it to the next level. Never, because they thought they had it. And now their net worth, even making $70,000 a year, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year, their net worth still to this day is, if it's over $1 million, it's barely $1 million. Where the people who was broke are worth tens of millions. And I tell people that get your time back. Because money, physical labor does not, I don't care how hard you work, it does not equal to wealth. This right here is your best asset. And if you're tired all the time, your best asset is not operating at 100%. It's just not. Be your own boss. So anyways, let's go back to the credit thing. So this is what I teach. I teach people about credit and the importance of credit, but I also teach them the power of credit. I just recently learned this during COVID. So this is kind of new to me. This ain't like I've been knowing this for long. I'm only known this for about 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 40 now. I'm about to be 41. So I learned this about 35, 36 years old. So money is not earned. It's a given. 90 to 95% of every building that you see every day was bought through debt. This is what y'all need to understand. The building that you live in, the way it was built, even if, I don't care if you own a house, somebody had to take out that loan to get that paid. Somebody took a shot in that dark. I don't care if it was built 100 years ago. I don't care if it was built last year. And you want to know who the winners were? The people who took on the debt. So anyways, the easiest way to wealth is to leverage the money you have, called credit. Once you start doing this and paying your bills on time, they give you more and more. And a lot of people be like, oh yeah, this is 2, 3. No, if you know anything and you got time and you study, you're going to be able to study the difference between personal credit and business credit. And you can use your personal credit to jump off your business credit within months, not years, and have $50,000 credit cards. In my case, hundreds of $1,000 credit cards. You know. So what are you gonna do? And this is the killer part. This is what I tell everybody. And you know what? Okay. So every time you buy something in the United States, you pay this thing called tax. Well, if you a worker bee, you pay taxes. You buy a house, you pay taxes. You buy a sandwich, you pay taxes. But if you go down to your Secretary of State and get an LLC, S Corp, or C Corp, you can now tap into these taxes. The taxes that build schools, the taxes that fix roads, the taxes that fund skyscrapers. It's all the same tax. It's all in the way that you tap into this money is through a LLC, a S Corp, or C Corp. This is the money that the government takes in, gives to these nonprofits, and these nonprofits have to make investments. They call it venture capital. And every year, billions and billions and billions of dollars are given at the state and local levels to people who are willing to take on loads. And this is how you get rich. You build up your personal credit. You get your LLC, a S Corp, or C Corp. You register it. They're going to give you some paperwork. You take that paperwork, you go down to the IRS. You're going to get an EIN number. When you get an EIN number, you're going to go to this place called Dun & Bradstreet. They do business credit report. Then you got business Experian, and I think the other one is Equifax. Experian is you know what I'm saying? And these are your business your business, what you call them things. You know, they keep your business credit score up. They keep track of that. Okay. So you take what is called a personal guarantee. When you go and you're gonna open, once you get your EIN number, you got your Dun & Bradstreet, you got your LLC, this all could be done within a week, less than a month, less than 2 weeks, and sometimes I did less than 2 weeks. Don't you know? I shout out to Noel Randall. I learned it from you, baby. There are 5 different banks you can go to and get a $50,000 credit limit on stated income. Game changer. Boom. And this is why I teach my people how to do this. And this is how you go 0 to 100 real quick. And I'm going to teach you this too. Shout out to Robert Kiyosaki. The reason why this is the way the rich go, because even though you earned this, you didn't earn this money. My bad. It's not considered income, but you can spend it. But because it's debt, you don't have to pay no taxes on this money. Now, I know a lot of y'all was talking about the slave class, and y'all heard that come out of my mouth. That's what I'm talking about. People who work a job as the slave class. The reason why the rich get these credit cards and stuff like this is then they go buy assets. So once you get that $50,000 credit card, you're going to go to places like Detroit. You're going to go places like Missouri. You're going to go to places where it's low key. And this is why I said money is spiritual. And you're going to go into these rundown, beat up, ugly neighborhoods, and you're going to go buy you a house. In Detroit, they got them for like $75,000. $12,000 down payment. $500 a month. But the rents in Detroit for a 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom house go from anywhere to $800 to $1,300. So once you give the bank back their money, that's all yours. But we ain't gonna even worry about that right now. I'm gonna teach you another secret. You're gonna take that credit card, put your down payment on it. Now there's two ways. So this house probably gonna need some upgrading. You want to upgrade it. Let me tell you why. Because once you upgrade a house, you can do what is called a cash out refi and get 80% of the value of the house out the front, out off the top. Off the top. And that's what's going to help you pay your credit cards back off. So you're going to be in there about 12.5 already. Go in, you got a $50,000 credit card, remember? You go in, you put $20,000 of good work fixing it up, make sure the electric, the plumbing, the everything. Basically, when you get done, all the cosmetics, whatever, whatever in your budget and in the house's budget. And you're going to take this. So once you do all these upgrades and do all these things to the house, it's called ARV, after repair value. I got this one site called Investor Lift that tells you, like they do the comps in the area. Jerry Horton, I love you too, man. You taught me this too. I was paying attention, dog. Or you can do your own comps in an area, and you want to figure out what's the AR if you do it the old way. But now they got little sites like Investor Lift and stuff like this where it can. Now watch this. You get your money out the front of the house. And this is why the rich keep getting richer and the poor gonna keep getting poorer. And the people who's renting from you, you're gonna put that when it's get all done, you're gonna put it up for rent. You're gonna get the cash out refi. The cash out refi after repairs it's $75,000. You put $12,500 down. You're gonna go in, fix it up for $20,000, and then say like the AR value is, let's do a round number when you're done, $300,000, $200,000, something like that. Well, let's say $200,000. So you all in for 12 and let's say 20. That's $32,000. Well, they're gonna give you 80% of that $200,000 up front, which is $160,000. You're gonna go to a bank, a mid-sized bank, a credit union, some person that's wanna put assets on their book, so they constantly have money to come into the bank. That's where the bank gonna be your front man, the bank is gonna be your back man. It's a no lose-lose situation. You ain't gotta worry about it. All you gotta do is find a tenant, somebody who gonna rent that. Sometimes I even rent rooms and make more money easy like that. And, tell everybody who got a little checky, hey, I charge you $400, $500 a room, and y'all gotta share everything else. And and people can afford that. And they was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Or I rent the whole house, or you can even go Section 8. And what you want to do, every month you get that money, it goes towards the mortgage, and whatever's left over comes back into your pocket. So let me tell you what this little move you just started from just getting one credit card. You went from one credit card, credit score shot up. Maybe if your credit messed up, maybe you need 2 or 3 credit cards. You know what I'm saying? So it might take. So I tell everybody this is a 3 to 6 month process. Even if you have a 400 or 500 credit score, once you get the $50,000, once you get your LLC or your S corp C corp, get the $50,000 credit card, you get one of these things on file. Let me teach you the difference between this. And everybody be like, well, you don't get that much money, they paying rent. Well, first of all, you got to cash out refi up front. You know, so you're going to pay off the house, pay the rest of the $75,000 off, and then put the new mortgage on there, but you don't pay the mortgage. The people pay the mortgage. And this is the sweetest part about this. Not only do you get the money off from the cash out refi, not only do you get to collect the rent, in 3 to 5 years of having a tenant paying that mortgage, don't you know the bank gonna come back to you and offer you all that money that they paid into that building, called a home equity loan? They gonna give it back to you every 3 to 5 years for the rest of your life. That's just 3. Now watch this. I'm gonna teach you something else. The IRS, because you have a investment property, you get to write this off on your taxes. It's called depreciation. You get 27 and a half years, but in that first year, you're gonna get 7 years of depreciation in that first year. That's your whole down payment that you put. And you know what this is called? Now you have no money in this house. And Robert Kiyosaki, this is where I found this out from, and Ken McElroy, they call this infinite return, infinito. You're going to have zero money into this account, but it's cash flowing every single month. And every 3 to 5 years, you're going to be able to take a loan out of it. Say, okay, so say like, all right, you paying $500. Okay, that's $5,000. In 5 years, that's what? $25,000. If you just leave the house, and once you cash out refi, now it's gonna be a little bit more. Say like now the thing is like $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year for 5 years. You're gonna be able to turn around and get $50,000, $60,000 back out of this house every 5 years. Then you turn around and watch. Ooh, it's so sweet. And then you get, on top of that, the house appreciates. Not only do you get what you paid into the mortgage, then you get appreciation. So now this 50 then shot up to 70 just because the house is going to be worth more, because as everybody know, housing ain't getting no cheaper. It's only going up, especially in the last, 20 years. Considerably. So just think what it's going to do in the next 20 years. So you have an appreciation asset. You're getting depreciation every year that covers the money that you make off of it. So you're gonna be making money, but the government is gonna allow you to get depreciation on the house, which is gonna make you like you breaking even. And this the number one trick. You're gonna be able to do this 4 or 5 times a year. Every year. This is how the rich get rich. And because, I forgot to tell you about the best part about the cash out refi. And because that is debt, guess how much taxes you pay on this money? 0. If you sell the house, you owe Uncle Sam. If you borrow the money because it's debt, you owe $0 in taxes. You just got the whole check. Scot-free, got your money up front. Now you can go buy, say, so okay, so you bought it for 75, put some work in it. Now it's worth 200 grand. You're gonna buy that house. That's gonna pay the rest of the $75,000 off. So you had 12,000 in it, and so it's gonna be like 50-something thousand. Then you're gonna go back with that same other money, and you're gonna buy another house with the cash and fix it up with the credit card. Why? Because when you get your cash out refi, this time, since you only got so much on the credit card, but you own these houses now. You know what I'm saying? So when you fix it up, this time, like unlike the first time, you're not going to have to go back and pay off that first loan because you had enough money from that first deal. Now you're going to buy the second house right out. Probably gonna get a good deal on it because it's all cash. So you could talk them up, say like it's $75,000. Now you can talk them down to 65, 68. Hey, sometimes even $60,000, depending on how motivated they is to sell at a discount. You put your little $20,000, $30,000 off the credit card to fix up the house. So all in all, you in for $100,000. Say like it's another $200,000. Okay, so when you get the cash out refi, you're gonna pay yourself back. Money goes back in your pocket. You're gonna pay off your credit card, and guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna offer you more credit cards. But that's it. So now you're gonna be having $300,000, $400,000, like I said, $300,000, $400,000, $600,000 worth of credit cards. You own 2 houses that you can sell or get money out of at any home equity loans. And I mean, watch, the banks is going to be able, if you ain't never had $100,000 loan when you own houses, you'll see what your mail going to look like. It's going to be so many offers. It's going to be so many offers on regular credit cards. There's going to be so many offers on business credit cards. There's going to be so many offers on home equity loans. It's going to be it breeds money. It's going to breed money. So you keep doing this, and all you have to do is keep this up for 5 years. After 5 years, you're going to be taking out cash out refis. So okay, you did 4 houses a year for 5 years. You got 20 properties. Well, it's just going to repeat. Every year, you're going to be able to cash out refi all those properties and take out all that extra, what do they call it? I'm so used to the stock market, I want to call it liquidity, but it's not liquidity. I'm in the stock market too. It's the build up of them paying the payments on the mortgage. Equity. That's what it's called. The build up of the equity plus the appreciation of the property. So after doing it for 5 years, so now you're getting 4 equity cash outs. You're going back in, you're fixing back up the place, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to recash it out. So you're getting paid. So after 5 years, you just double pay. You're going to get the home equity loan. You're going to pull all the equity out the house. You're going to turn around, take the equity, put the cash back in the house to make the house worth more money. Simple things like add fireplaces, add a parlor on the back, build a garage. Just anything that's going to make that price go up. And then you're just going to borrow it right back out. So it might take you $10,000 to build on this house, but now they walk in there and now you done built the extra bathroom and a bedroom onto the house, or you done built a garage with a loft over the top. So now you got a loft space that you can rent, and now the property is cash flowing more money because it's more. Now instead of having one place to rent, now you got two places to rent. So the bank comes in and say, well, we're gonna appraise this. Well, you took this property from 200,000. Now you get all this money, forced equity. We're gonna say about 350 plus you got the appreciation. So now we're gonna say it's worth about 400,000. We're gonna give you $320,000 on this thing. And you keep building every year, and before you know it, I say about year 3, 4, 5, you're gonna start buying multi-unit buildings. And once you start buying multi-unit buildings, your cash out refis is gonna be hundreds of thousands. You're not gonna be able to have to work no more. You're not going to have to be able to do these things to struggle for money no more. All you gonna have to be, your only thing is gonna be is take care of your properties and walk to the bank around the first of the month and pick up that money. That's it. Life is easy. You get paid up front. So if you want to keep going and keep going and keep going, so you could, I know people who makes $150,000 a month. They call it the Berg method. They buy, they renovate, they rent out, and they refinance. And they keep doing this process over and over and over and over. And you don't even do no hard work. You hiring, because you got the fund. You own your money. You're doing it with other people's money. Like I said, after so long, some properties you're going to use for infinito, where you have no money in the deal, and just taking money out of the deal is the only, that's all you're going to be doing. Taking money out of the deal. It's just going to be a cash flowing business. And this is the way to wealth. Whereas and this is what I was talking about, the girl who did hair. This is what she's doing now. And the guy who was on his job is still on his job. And he happy because over the last 5 years, they didn't give him enough pay raises where he went from $60,000 a year. Now he at $70,000 a year with the same credit card method that I gave her. And she's making over about $350,000, $400,000 a year. Do the math. Like I said, he's barely worth $1 million. She's worth tens of millions. But this is just something I just want to get out there and put on your mind. I'm doing it too. I ain't no slouch or nothing like that. What I do with that thing? I just want to show y'all this. Those are cards. And I just put them up because if I'm not moving forward, I keep a couple in my wallet, but as you can see, that's a whole bag. I think that's like 12, 15. That's probably close to about, I don't know, $300,000-$400,000 worth of cards. and I don't work a job. I've tried to go back and work a job. And I got broker and broker. And that's when I realized this method. Money is not earned. It's a given.